President Vladimir Putin will be attending the virtual G20 Summit, which will be hosted by India. In fact, note that the G20 leaders' virtual summit would begin starting 5:30 p.m. onwards and will witness a major gathering of world leaders. In fact, we're given to understand Xi Jinping would be skipping this virtual summit, and in his place, Premier Li Jiang will be representing China. But the news break this hour is on Putin, who's going to be attending the virtual summit. A statement that's also coming from Kremlin confirming Putin's attendance at the virtual G20 summit. Listen in to the statement that's coming from Amitabh Kant as India is all set to host the G20 summit, the virtual one today.
Let me welcome you all to this pre-summit press conference, which is being held ahead of the G20 Leaders Summit. Now, the Leaders Summit will be held tomorrow from 5:30 p.m. onwards under the chairmanship of the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. All of you are aware that the 18th G20 Leaders Summit was held in New Delhi successfully on 9th and 10th September 2023. It saw the unanimous adoption of the G20 New Delhi Leaders Declaration. The New Delhi Leaders Declaration demonstrated the commitment of the G20 leaders to address global challenges in a very ambitious, inclusive, decisive, and action-oriented manner. We had 83 paras in our declaration. There were 87 outcomes, and there was 118 documents were attached to it. That means there were almost, with outcomes and documents, we had 205 actions on which we had to pursue action. At the closing session of the Leaders Summit, Prime Minister had suggested to the G20 leaders that the leaders would reconvene virtually towards the end of India's G20 presidency period to take forward the guidance provided by the participating leaders in their interventions and also give an impetus to implementing the summit's outcome. The Prime Minister has been particularly focused on implementation of the Leaders' Declaration, and all our ministries. We've held several rounds of meetings with our ministries to pursue action on all the Leaders' Declaration, and on a vast range of areas. Declaration has been taken both domestically and internationally.
All right, so the virtual summit that will take place today, and Putin as well, who would be a part of the virtual summit. But moving on to the ceasefire agreement that has been reached upon between Israel and Hamas. In fact, Israel's cabinet has approved a ceasefire deal with the Hamas terror group that would bring a temporary halt to the devastating war that has stretched on for more than 6 weeks now. In fact, let's straight away go across to Gursimran, who's joining us live right now. Gursimran, to begin with, once again, take us to this deal that's been reached upon, and what are the challenges that lie ahead when it comes to the release of around 240 hostages held by the Hamas group?
Samiksha, now the deal has been reached upon, and the Prime Minister Office of Israel has confirmed that the deal of the ceasefire has been reached upon, with the release of 50 hostages that are in the captivity of Hamas will be released in the 4 days. And this ceasefire will increase with each passing day, with the release of 10